I do want to dive deeper into this idea of entrepreneurship in these communities, but maybe right before we do that, you've shared it with me before, but I would love to for you to share with everybody else kind of your philosophy on entrepreneurship. So, and what I mean by that is like, you think about loans and the bankers that give them, and the last thing in the world you think about is philanthropy and doing good in the world. You think about entrepreneurship generally. I think a lot of us think of these masters of the universe types who want to conquer the world, and I need to be a billionaire and have my Malibu mansion. But you see entrepreneurship differently and its impacts differently. Can you tell us a bit about that and how you think about what entrepreneurship can do for people?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to answer. I'm going to give at least two different perspectives on it. The first is I'm going to distinguish between three types of entrepreneurship. I'm going to call them necessity entrepreneurship, small business entrepreneurship, and we'll call it unicorn entrepreneurship. I'll work backwards. Unicorn entrepreneurship is what you just described, right? Where somebody is going to go, they want to start a business. This is actually a myth. Most successful entrepreneurs don't start a business that does really well to make money. But that's just for the sake right now, just buy that argument that they say, okay, I just want to make a ton of money. I want a unicorn. I want $1 billion. I want a Malibu mansion. I want a Tesla. And so I'm going to start a business to do it. Turns out most people don't have what it takes to succeed at doing that. Most businesses don't turn out to be Microsofts or Facebooks or Zooms or whatever. Those are the exception. I'm going to give just a nuance if this is helpful for everybody. It turns out actually the ones that do it don't usually, most of them, 95%, there's probably some data on this, but 95% of them don't set out to buy the Malibu mansion. They actually set out to change the world. They have a view of how the world either is changing or could change and could be better in the future. And they think they have the capability to do it, and they go and execute on it. And I mean, if you just list some of the, so let's take Bill Gates, for example. He didn't say, I'm going to drop out of Harvard and become the richest man in the world. He said, the world is changing. There's going to be a computer on every desk soon. Nobody sees it yet. They think computers are the size of refrigerators, but they're really going to shrink down and everybody's going to use them for everything. And that's going to change the way the world works. We're going to democratize access to information, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to be a part of that. And so he dropped out to go start that. Or Steve Jobs, same thing, had a total vision. Or even better, Elon Musk, person lots of people love to hate. I actually think he's fantastic. Elon Musk started Tesla, started everything he did for social reasons. Started Tesla to get us off of oil, started SpaceX to create, in case we don't make the climate changes necessary and the Earth is uninhabitable, to give us a chance to live somewhere else, i.e. Mars. Even Sun City, same thing, to increase our use of renewable energy, et cetera. So all these big companies that he's famous for, he started for social reasons because he really wanted to change the world. So that, I don't know if that's what you're alluding to, but that's one secret. So then going down a level, so there are those amazing brand name organizations, entrepreneurs. Coming down that level, there are a lot of just small business owners that they just make enough to have a good living, and they own the local Big O tire shop, or they own a couple McDonald's franchises, or they have a car wash, or they have a sewing business or whatever, and they make whatever they make, $50,000, $300,000, whatever it is a year. It's not going to be on the news, and not going to employ thousands of people or whatever, but it's fine. That actually makes up the bulk of most economies. It's the bulk of our economy here in the US. It's the bulk of most other economies. And so I view entrepreneurship as a huge engine for growth. This is known. Microsoft, IBM, GE, Delta Airlines, whatever, American Express, they get a lot of headlines, but the bulk of hiring, bulk of employment in the country, the bulk of wages in the country, bulk of employment is done through small and medium businesses, bulk of wages are paid through small and medium businesses, et cetera. So they're really crucial to building a stable and growing economy. And they're the answer to a lot of problems. I think that's going to help us work our way out of COVID, for example, by increasing entrepreneurship and access to capital and access to mentoring. The third type of entrepreneurship I'd talk about would be necessity entrepreneurship. And those were the women I was talking about at the beginning, where, maybe it would be better for me to have a job, but there are no jobs. So I have to buy a cow and sell the milk or whatever, which is kind of just to get by. Just to, the middle ones, the small, medium businesses, sometimes it's a lifestyle. Sometimes people don't want to work for a boss. Sometimes they'd rather make $100,000 working for themselves than $150,000 sitting in a cubicle or whatever. But the necessity entrepreneurship, which is also the bulk of a lot of emerging market economies, are crucial.